The following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Oh my, it is a beautiful Friday night in the Valley of the Sun, northwest of Phoenix, Arizona. Peoria Sports Complex and the Cincinnati Reds and the San Diego Padres compete for the third time during the Cactus League season. Light breeze, temperature in the 80s. Welcome aboard, along with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. Cincinnati Reds, Dusty Baker, who managed the manager of the Padres, Buddy Black at San Francisco, brought in his heavy artillery for this. The lineup you're going to see tonight for Dusty Baker is basically the team that's going to face the Marlins on opening day in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. And he is -1 pitcher, Edison Volquez, now wearing the blue of San Diego.
And he is happy to be wearing that uniform. Darren Balsey says that he is healthy. You know, we've talked about the changeup from Edison Volquez, but the one thing for sure that he's making progress in this spring is executing the fastball, locating the fastball. He's made a few adjustments in his delivery. One is shortening the stride a little bit. When you shorten the stride, what does that do? It helps you stay on top of the baseball and locate and work downhill. And yes, Volquez will throw that changeup. He's a strikeout pitcher. Hopefully, he can have a strikeout per innings pitched like he did back in 2008, but some great numbers prior to that Tommy John surgery. The main thing is he's healthy.
He was an all-star 3 years ago at 25, still only 28 years of age, and he's had really good stuff this spring. Let's see how he does against his former teammates tonight. And coming up, another of the 4 players acquired from Cincinnati in the Latos trade. The new first baseman of the Padres, Yonder Alonso. We're ready for that opening pitch. The Padres here in the spring are 12-9. The Reds are 9-11-1. And Dusty Baker, he's only 7 wins away from becoming the number 20th best winningest manager in baseball history. And look at this lineup. All-star lineup with Phillips Cozart, who's had a great spring. Rookie trying to make it as the opening day shortstop. MVP 2 years ago, Joey Votto, and there's the familiar name in the cleanup hole. Ryan Ludwig will be in left field. Jay Bruce, then 8-time All-Star Scott Rowland at third, Drew Stubbs in right field, Brian Hannigan the catcher, and veteran Bronson Arroyo on the mound. Edinson Volquez making his 4th start of the spring, 8 innings of work, only 5 hits allowed. Walks have been a problem since Tommy John surgery, and he's had a couple of shaky starts, but of course he pitched that Sunday game in the sleet and snow and wind that hit the desert, and he said he was sliding around the mound. He was having trouble gripping the ball, but still allowed only 1 run.
You look at the opponent's batting average just at 180, and that's a good sign for Edinson Volquez. And we talked about him in the pregame show. He's got a lot to offer. Changeup, curveball 12-6, the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. I think Edinson Volquez is going to get to the point where if he needs a grounder, he's going to utilize that 2-seamer, and the infielders will work quite nicely behind him to try to get that grounder.
From a Dominican family of 4, 3 older sisters and a mother who insisted he play more baseball. He said basketball was my first love, but at 15 he had to tuck the round ball away and pick up the smaller baseball and go to work, and here he is at 28 trying to make a new team very happy. And Brandon Phillips, 2-time All-Star the last 2 years at second base, will lead it off for the Reds. We're underway. High with a fastball at 95. Announcement in the background, it's 80 degrees at game time and just a light breeze blowing out toward right field. High pop up, Alonso into foul territory, and there's 1 away. Check the Padre defense. In the outfield, Mark Kotze gets a start in left field. Kyle Blank still with a sore shoulder. Cameron Maben in center, and Will Venable had a good spring in right. Around the horn, it's Headley, Cabrera, Everett Cabrera with a triple and a home run yesterday. Andy Perino, the rookie, at second, and Yonder Alonso at first. John Baker handling the pitches of Volquez. There's the veteran Kotze in left. He'll provide a left-handed bat against right-handed pitching. Good stick off the bench in the late innings. First pitch hunting is Zach Cozart, and he sends one into foul territory down the right field line and out of play.
Not only will Kotze provide that bat off the bench in occasional starts, but this guy is going to carry the glue as well. The glue, holding that clubhouse together, being the leader, helping the young guys, pushing the veteran guys. And to have a manager like Buddy Black and a veteran like Kotze on the team, I think that's a good combo.
Another foul, 2 strikes on Cozart, who played his college baseball at the University of Mississippi. He was a 2nd-round pick of the Reds 4 years ago, and he's trying to become the first rookie to start for the Reds in the opener at shortstop since 1971. He's had a terrific spring, hitting .441. Oh, there's the breaking ball that just froze him, and it's a changeup with all that movement.
I could get used to this. Yeah, it might look like a broken record because we saw a lot of it. Look at the arm speed. Look at that whipping action. And that ball is right down the middle. Belt buckle high, frozen pizza, Cozart back to the bench. That's a good sign from Volquez.
And now against Joey Votto. Had an off season last year, hit only .309. Off his most valuable player in the National League season a year previous when he hit .324. Last year didn't get a chance to swing the bat a lot. It was the Reds version of Adrian Gonzalez. He walked 110 times, more than anyone in the National League, and he looks at another strike. Breaking ball. That's that 12-6 curveball.
Yeah.
Slow spring for Votto. He has only 4 hits in his first 26 at bats. Oh, he thought he was struck out. He was on his way to the dugout.
Votto's like, thank you very much. I get another crack at it. There's a 2-seamer that he tries to bring back in. It comes back in. That's inner third of the plate. Votto's thinking, I'm out of here, but okay, I'll take another crack at it.
Plate umpire David Rackley fooled by the way that ball broke on the 2-seam back over the heart of the plate.
There comes Uncle Charlie. Curveball.
2-2.
Well, you can just see the look of Edinson Volquez as you take a look at the arbiters on the field calling balls and strikes. David Rackley good body language from Volquez early on tonight.
Well, the adrenaline's flowing for him against his former teammates, and now falls to 3-2 after having first 2 strikes and an apparent strikeout denied by umpire Rackley.
One thing we'll also have to take a look tonight from Volquez. He's probably going to go 5 innings, 75 to 80 pitches, but the location of the fastball.
Strike 3. That wasn't as good a strike as the one that Votto saw on the 3rd pitch of the sequence. So a couple of strikeouts for Volquez. 1-2-3. Opening inning for the Reds. Padres coming up. It'll be Babin, Kotze, and Headley. Here on this Friday night, March 23rd, as we look at Buddy Black's starting lineup tonight. Cameron Maben, Kotze, and Headley, the first 3. Alonso in the cleanup spot with Will Venable and John Baker, 2 left-handed hitters next. Everett Cabrera, the switch hitting infielder. Andy Perino also hits from both sides. And Volquez in the number 9 spot. Padres, along with getting some outstanding pitching this spring, as Bronson Arroyo sends up one of those slow curveballs at 72, have been leading all the major league teams in hitting to this point. May surprise a few folks. Hitting .293 as a team, .364 on base percentage, and slugging percentage tops as well. Ground ball by Maben. To the left goes the shortstop Cozart to throw him out. And for Cincinnati, defensively, they align this way with the veteran Roland at third, Cozart and Phillips, a double play combination. Votto at first. 3 of the 4 men there, Gold Glove winners. Ludwig in left, Stubbs in center, and Bruce in right. And Ryan Hannigan handling the deliveries of Bronson Arroyo. Joey Votto, he won the Gold Glove last year at first base, and Phillips won his 3rd Gold Glove in the last 4 years at second. Pretty tough right side of the infield. Mark Kotze takes a strike at the knees, 1-1. Mark's had only 14 at bats, as you can see here in the spring. A little extra on that. Arroyo doesn't have a lot of velocity, but he throws so much off-speed breaking stuff that when he does throw a fastball at 86, it comes on to you a lot quicker than you think. Huh?
Looks like it's 96, and he will flip up any pitch at any time, even though it's only March 23rd.
Slap foul.
The first pitch he threw at the bottom of the first inning, 2 straight breaking balls to Cameron Maben. So he sets that in the back of the hitter's mind.
One ball, 2 strikes to the veteran outfielder Kotze. Drive to left center field. It's slicing away from the center fielder Stubbs, and he can't get it. Bounds over the barrier for a ground rule double.
That's a prime example of Mark Kotsay staying on a pitch. Short stride, foot up, foot down, hands back, and rifling that ball to left center field. And believe me, folks, Drew Stubbs out there, one of the quickest, one of the fastest outfielders in the National League, if not in all of Major League Baseball. Just a couple of inches away from snagging that one, and Mark Kotsay is aboard with a double.
Yeah, just to underline how fast Stubbs is, they say he's got the best speed for a Reds player since Deion Sanders. Couldn't get that one. It was slicing away all along for a double, and the Padres with a chance here in the early inning. Chase Headley, long home run yesterday, hitting left-handed, and then a line drive single batting right-handed. Was 2 for 3.
Let's see if Chase Headley gets a fastball early, like Mark Sweeney was talking about it in the pregame show. A fastball early in the count and possibly trying to drive in that run. Now, Arroyo throws a lot of off-speed stuff. So if he gets a fastball, let it travel a little bit. Nothing wrong with going the opposite way.
Breaking ball low and in, 2-1. Arroyo last year threw more long balls than anyone in baseball. 46 home runs.
What in the Burt Blyleven is going on there?
Thrown a couple this year in just 9 innings in spring.
Yeah, he's going to give up a lot of hits.
And very selective hitter, as we've learned to know Chase Headley, and he takes the count to 3-1 with Alonso on deck.
To elaborate on Arroyo and pitching at the not so great American ballpark, as far as pitchers are concerned, the key is getting innings and keeping you close in ball games.
And that one doesn't catch the outside corner, and the Padres have a couple of base runners here in the opening frame. Brings up Yonder Alonso. Alonso, of course, available because Votto's only 28 years old, and he was stuck behind the star first baseman of the Reds, so became a key ingredient in the play in the trade with Cincinnati for Matt Latos. We have to tell the other side of that trade as well. We'll get that in here shortly. Latos has had a terrific spring. Inside, Alonso has had more at bats than any Padre. They've used him often. 12 hits and 48 at bats this spring. Has 8 RBIs. Fouled at the plate.
Looked like some type of off-speed pitch from Bronson Arroyo. That's what he will do. As we take a look at the defense, pretty straight away. He'll drive hitters nuts because he throws below the hitting speed.
Kotsay ready to roll from second. Headley at first. Look at that one floating up there at 69. Give me a bat.
You getting that itch, Professor?
That's about the right speed, isn't it? Home runs by ballpark. The Rangers, then Baltimore, and then Cincinnati and the Yankee Stadium. 209. The new Yankee Stadium is a hitter's paradise. Drive to center field, base hit. Kotsay had to hold and will advance only to third as the throw comes in. So the bases are loaded as Alonso drills a single to center.
Talked about Yonder Alonso's swing in the pregame show. Remember what he said? It all starts from the feet. Square hips, stays back nicely, and didn't hit it on the sweet spot, but put a good swing on it right over second base for the base knock to load him up.
One out, bases full for Will Venable. Venable's had a good spring, hitting .361, 12 hits. Make that 13 hits. 5 doubles. Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell, the 2 hitting coaches, working in tandem with Venable tighten that swing. So far, so good. 2-0. Katse, Headley, and Alonso aboard. Catcher Hannigan out to talk with Arroyo with a count 2-0, and Venable sitting on a pitch. He can guess here and look for something sweet.
And what did we just see right there? Bases loaded, 1-0, and it looked like Arroyo pulled the string on something. That goes to show you that he'll throw anything, anytime, and we documented that early on. So just because it's 2-0 and bases are loaded doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be throwing a fastball.
Low, and now Arroyo with a count 3-0 in danger of walking in the opening run. Catcher John Baker would be next. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Venable forces in Katse, and the Padres lead at 1-0. Headley moves to third, Alonso to second. Venable with an RBI on the walk, his third of the spring.
Brian Price, one of the better pitching coaches in all of baseball. He really knows his stuff, got a great relationship with his pitchers. Hey, Bronson Arroyo, he's been around the block a few times. He knows what's going on. This might be a little breather, even though it's the first inning. Or maybe just go over a little scouting report with the left-handed Baker coming up.
While we have this meeting at the mound, we'll duck in the note on Matt Latos. He's worked 4 games so far. He's 2-0 with a 1.93 ERA. Has been the Reds' most effective pitcher this spring, and the ideal trade is where both sides benefit. Baker 5 for 22 this spring.
Oh, we've got a John D. Baker at the plate. We've got a John B. Baker managing the Cincinnati Reds. But this John Baker in the Padre Blue, a great veteran presence to help Nick Hundley, to help the guys on the bench. Hey, that's an important cog on any team.
Way upstairs, 1-1.
And John Baker of the Padres is going to be one of those guys who's going to spell Nick Hundley when he needs a rest here and there. He's got some little bit of pop from that left side of the batter's box.
Very cerebral guy from Cal Berkeley.
Exactly, and another great acquisition by Josh Burns during the offseason.
I like this. He refers to himself, his personality, Baker does, as eclectic.
Oh,
that's a new one in the baseball book dictionary. John Baker. Dusty Baker's the Marine.
The Baker on the right needs a toothpick.
No, soft liner into right field. That's going to drop. 1 run scores. And here's the play to third. Not in time as 2 score. Headley and Alonso, and it's 3-0 on a 2-run blooper by John Baker.
Looked like something off speed because you can see Baker really extend his bat there. Almost one-handed that off the end of the bat to right field. He's all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. John Baker is.
2 more ribbies. That'll open those eyes.
He is just riveted on Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, flashing the signs.
Everett Cabrera, the hitter now, with Venable at third and Baker at first. Still only 1 out and 3 runs home. And a rough start for the veteran Bronson Arroyo. High chopper. Here comes Venable. He'll score. And Cabrera beats the relay. And it's 4-0. Fielder's choice RBI for Everett Cabrera. Venable checks in.
Speed is something you can bring to the ballpark each and every day. Everybody talks about pitching and defense, a little bit of power, another changeup chopped. And believe me, Everett has got one thing in mind. He's got to go full bore, and the infielder has to think to himself, no mistakes. I cannot make one little mistake at all. That's the difference.
Oh, 4-run first inning for the Padres. Remember our last time here on Fox Sports San Diego last weekend, they scored 5 in the first inning. Perino, the switch hitting infielder, has been playing second and short. There are his numbers. A couple of home runs. He has surprising power. Cabrera, a base stealer, takes his lead at first. Fly ball to left field. Ludwig giving some ground and squeezes the final out. But the Padres open with a 4-run inning. 4 runs on 3 hits.
Welcome back to Padres baseball on Fox Sports San Diego. Padres up 4-0 on the Cincinnati Reds, and there are quite a few former Padres on this new Reds team, and that, of course, includes outfielder Ryan Ludwig, who was not short on opinion when it came from going from Petco to Great American Ballpark. Here's what he had to say. Playing in San Diego screwed me up. Not short on opinion. I'm not using that as an excuse or a crutch, but it turned me into a dead pull hitter. I got away from what I was as a hitter. And just so you know, Ludwig right now hitting .226 this spring.
Looking for his first home run. Thank you, Layla. Nice stop by Cabrera and fires the strike for the out. Everett Cabrera with a solid defensive play to deny Ludwig a base hit.
There are players who know they're going to make the team, and then there are players that play every play like it's the 7th game of the World Series. Cabrera getting dirty, skip, hop, and a jump, and fires that cannon to get Ludwig. Ludwig is not going to break any land speeds. He's no Usain Bolt. But I'll tell you what, that's a big league play right there by Everett Cabrera.
Just to follow up on that quote by Ryan Ludwig, what he meant was he's a power hitter to right center field, and that was a dead spot at Petco Park, a tough place to hit it out. So he tried to adjust and pull everything, and he felt that it messed up his swing. Drive to left center. Over goes Maben to make the catch. Jay Bruce lines up.
Off the left-handed bat, that ball is going to slice when it's on the shortstop side of second base. And no better center fielder to have out there. Cameron Maben making it look easy.
Volquez gets a couple of quick outs here in the second, and that brings up Scott Rowland, the veteran third baseman. Now 37. Seven-time National League All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove winner.
Well, the shoulder problems for Scott Rowland has been really tough to deal with. You have shoulder problems, and the age of Scott Rowland is going to slow down the bat speed a little bit. And that's why I think a guy like Volquez could eat up Rowland with fastballs. When the bat tends to slow down a little bit, what does that create? A slider speed bat. And I think that might be what Rowland is right about now in his career.
Oh, look at the action on that curveball, and it's 1-2.
He's got a good one.
Roland announced his tremendous talent as a hitter at a young age. He was only 23 when he knocked in 100 with the Phils. And a solid pro, this grizzled veteran now at 37.
Good command right there off the plate. Not a bad pitch. Volquez listed at 225 in the media guide as we take a look at this fastball, trying to pound it down and away. And a nice frame job by Baker. But with that chain, he's 232 around his neck.
He went strike 3 as Roland fooled on the curveball. 6 up, 6 down for Volquez. 3 strikeouts. Cameron Maben, new contract in his pocket, having a happy spring. He'll lead off the bottom of the second. Volquez leads off the bottom of the second inning. He's not known for his use of the bat, and his career has only 12 hits, all singles. Off the head of the bat, he
way out in front.
Cues that one to the dugout. That'll send shivers right up to your elbow and into the shoulder.
Good looking swing. Okay, now choke up a little bit and try to punch that ball to the right side. Shallow and right is Jay Bruce.
Chopped off home plate out to the pitcher Bronson Arroyo, and he throws out Volquez. Fox Saturday Baseball returns on April 7th. Some of the sport's biggest names on their new teams. Albert Pujols and the Angels, Prince Fielder and the Tigers, plus the defending World Series champion Cardinals will headline the debut of Fox Saturday Baseball April 7th at 12:30. That's a pretty good lineup to open the season. And of course the Padres, a couple of days prior to that, on Thursday, April 5th, will open their year against the Los Angeles Dodgers. 4-game series. Cameron Maben grounded to short to open the first inning. Mark Kotze, who got that 4-run inning started with a double, is on deck.
Remember the first at bat? Maben, 2 breaking balls, curve balls to Maben. This at bat, 2 breaking balls, but a shorter breaking ball, 2 cutters from Bronson Arroyo.
And he tries to sneak the fastball in there at 87. Last 9 games, Maben hitting at a .346 clip and a couple of home runs. That's in there.
Well, he will change speeds on the fastball. He'll change speeds on the changeup. Mark Kotsay getting a good look at Arroyo out there on that hill.
He's an innings eater, is Arroyo.
Curveball.
3-2. Tipping his pitch. How did you call it so quickly?
I took a sneaky peek to Hannigan. He put down the number 2. So I cannot tell a lie.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Here comes another one. 3-2.
And it misses low and away. A 1-out walk to Maben.
You know, Dick, you make a good point, though, because pitchers will tip pitches at times, but Arroyo is so locked in, very repetitive with his motion. Same mechanics, same leg kick every single time, although he will change his arm angle on all of his pitches.
1-out walk to Maben. He'll bear watching. Outstanding base stealer, 40 swipes last year. And Arroyo makes a visit to first. Dave Roberts there coaching Maben. Got the stopwatch ready to click off the times. He records the time, pitcher to catcher, catcher to second base. There goes Maben, and they get him. Little too eager.
He just took a chance. And by that point, it's do or die. Once you commit, you go full bore. See Cameron, he's flash looking at Arroyo. He steps off, spins and throws. He is banking on Arroyo making a bad throw, and the advantage goes to Arroyo.
So 2 outs, bases empty to Kotsay, and the count 1 strike on the left-handed veteran. Arroyo's a Floridian, Brooksville, Florida. As most of you know, named after the actor Charles Bronson. That'll be a souvenir behind the Reds dugout.
Let's see. Bronson, Charles Bronson, Death Wish, Dirty Dozen. I know the list goes on and on.
One ball, 2 strikes to Kotsay. He checked his swing on the high fastball.
See what Arroyo also does? Pitches to all the quadrants of the strike zone. Down and in, up and away, down and away.
Unique pitching delivery as well with that lock need right there.
Yep.
Kick. 2 fastballs in a row. That doesn't happen often.
Trying to catch and see what Ryan Hannigan puts down here. 3-2. I'm guessing it's going to have a wrinkle in it or a changeup. Definitely Mark Kotsay is not going to get a fastball.
He drills this one foul down the right field corner.
Nice
That's
catch.
a way to play the hop. Yeah, Hall of Famer Dave Winfield aboard tonight. Now, he can tell you some stories. Out of play.
You talk about an intimidating hitter at the plate. Dave Winfield, my goodness. He just had that presence about him.
Ball 4. That's the 4th walk for Arroyo. Brings up Chase Headley with 2 gone.
And that's a good plate appearance by Mark Kotsay. Hey, you don't necessarily have to swing the bat or get base hits to have good plate appearances. He saw some pitches, recognized the off-speed pitch to draw the walk.
Headley walked in the first inning, came around to score on John Baker's 2-run single. Broken bat ground ball to second baseman Phillips. Over to Votto. And that's it. No runs, a man left. 2-0 after 2. Eddie Volquez goes back to work. Time at the Ball Yard. Friday night, enjoying the Reds and the Padres here at the Peoria Sports Complex, northwest of Phoenix. As Edison Volquez said, it's all right to call me Eddie. We'll work to Stubbs, Hannigan, and Arroyo in the top of the third. 4-0 San Diego. Chopped foul. Well, as we are just 13 days away, my friend, from opening day at Petco against the Dodgers, Darren Balsley and Buddy Black getting their starting rotation stacked up in order, just like the air controller, getting those planes coming in.
Yep.
And they have to be pleased at how they are pitching here as we move late into the spring training period. And here's the evidence. This is probably how they're going to line up Stauffer, then Lubke, Volquez, Richard, and Mosley. Their last start for those 5 pitchers, 22 innings, a 1.23 ERA. How's that?
Well, we mentioned in our first telecast about a week ago how the Padres really don't have a true #1 guy, but they've probably got 5 number 3s or so, if you want to put it that way. But their aptitude to pitching is outstanding.
1-2 now to Drew Stubbs.
The rotation for the San Diego Padres, they work diligently on scouting reports. They know how to execute those pitches during games, and it's been showing off the last starts.
Saw Balsley with Volquez looking at video of his pitching form as he fires that one right through the swing of Drew Stubbs, who struck out 205 times last year, most in the National League.
Even though he missed the location, Baker wanted that down and away. That was a fastball that rode up and in at 95.
Little rosin for Volquez. 7 in a row retired, 4 on strikes. Ryan Hannigan, career .275 hitter, the catcher. 31 years of age, played his college ball at Rollins College. There's that changeup, floats in for a strike. Oh, he's keeping that in the strike zone, isn't he?
He's thrown all of his pitches tonight for strikes so far.
1-1. The top prospect in the Reds organization is a catcher, Devin Mesoraco. He's 23, and it was because he is expected to be the big league starter soon that Yasmani Grandal was available in the 4-man trade for Latos. Grandal, he only did everything expected this spring. 3 for 3 yesterday, fouled at the plate. with a monster home run. Dusty Baker, Carmichael, California. Dusty's now 62, 19 years as a player, hit 278, 242 home runs, and now he's won over 300 games with 3 different major league teams. Not many skippers can make that claim.
He's a good man right there. Great teammate. Always positive. Sounds like somebody we know by the name of Buddy Black.
Yeah. 1-2 the count. That one a one hopper to the screen.
He spiked a fastball. Not too many times you see a fastball spiked out in front of home plate. That was at 94 miles an hour. You talk about getting on top of one. Yeah, and downward plane. That might work in cricket. In the game of baseball, you got to get it there on the fly. Curveball.
And the count goes full as Hannigan threatens to become the first Reds base runner of the night with pitcher Arroyo on deck.
Hey, come on out. He's going to try to locate a two-seam fastball away right here.
Ground ball up the middle. Perino, and he can't get it out of his glove. Would have been tough to throw out Hannigan. And the infield hit. Good effort by the youngster at second, Andy Perino.
And the middle infielders tonight, Everett Cabrera and Andy Perino, getting dirty. That ball looks like it may have been deflected just a little bit. It would have been really interesting to see what would have happened if Andy Perino can come up cleanly and make a throw, because Hannigan, the catcher, does not fly down the line.
Volquez not in great position on his follow-through, or he would have had that comebacker. Arroyo expected to bunt. He squares early. Low and away, ball one. A reminder to get suited up, folks, for spring training at the official online shop of the Padres. They have the largest selection of authentic spring training gear that includes clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, much more. Get set for spring at the official source, thepadres.com shop. Any of San Diego Padres gear here at Peoria tonight. Bunted to Headley, and from his knees able to throw to Perino for the putout. 2 away. The sacrifice successful for Arroyo as Hannigan moves into scoring position.
Hey, even though it's spring training, you still have to execute, and that's exactly what Arroyo does, hitting the top half of that baseball, getting the big kangaroo hop, advancing that runner.
Now Brandon Phillips steps in, the leadoff man, try to pick up the first Cincinnati run. Fouled out to Alonso, the first baseman, to open the game. Well, that's quite something when you win both the Silver Bat Award and the Gold Glove at your position in the same year. That's what he did last season. Top hitting second baseman, top fielding second baseman in the National League. Right back toward us.
It's better than winning the Golden Sombrero, right?
That's right.
That's too many punch outs in a ball game.
What qualifies? 4 strikeouts for the sombrero?
AAA.
Just 3.
Silver sombrero, golden sombrero. After that, you strike out, you're going to AAA.
Fooled him there, way out in front.
Yeah, runner in scoring position, ahead in the count 0-1, and he pulls the string on the changeup.
Look at the smile out to Volquez. Come on, you're doing that to me.
Yeah, we've got a little game going on here. They know each other extremely well. And, you know, quite frankly, sure, it's spring training. They're trying to work on things, but most importantly, bragging rights.
2 strikes on Phillips. Blowing away, says Baker. Darren Balsley, the highly talented pitching coach for the San Diego Padres, will be our guest in the next half inning. We'll get his grading of Volquez and the starting rotation and how the whole pitching staff is shaping up for the coming season. What a good teacher he is.
The best.
Out of play. Now, every pitching coach has their tutorial pattern, how they help a pitcher. And what all the San Diego hurlers have to say about this man Balsley is that in just a couple of words he gets you back on course. You know, you're just doing it, whether it's your stride or your grip or your arm angle, and it communicates so easily.
And you touch upon a good point, Dick. Adjustments in the delivery. I mentioned the shorter stride from Volquez, but also he's moved him over towards the first base side of the rubber. And what that does, it gives him a straighter angle approach to the outside corner to a right-handed hitter, rather than being in the middle of the mound, or the rubber, I should say, or the third base side. So when he's in the middle of the rubber, he gets locked off. If he moves over towards the first base side, he frees those hips, straighter line towards the outside corner to the right-handed batter.
Scott Corey Lupke doing the same thing.
Correct.
Lupke looks to be headed for a terrific season. 1-2 on Phillips, and another foul, and that went off catcher Baker.
Edinson Volquez looks free and easy. First base side of the rubber. Nice leg kick. Show the backside a little bit. Out of the glove, down and up top. Staying on top of that baseball nicely. Not working around the baseball.
Unless you're Tim Lincecum, your stride should be almost exactly your height. So if you're 6 feet tall, about a 6-foot stride. Lincecum's about 7.5.
And if your stride gets too long, you work underneath the baseball.
Shot toward short. Cabrera, long throw. He gets him by a half step, and the inning is over. No runs ahead, a man left for the Reds. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach of the Padres, on deck. Bottom of the third, it'll be Alonso, Venable, and Baker to bat for San Diego as we go down to the dugout and pitching coach Darren Balsley. We talked about your rotation going back to each start. Stauffer, Lupke, Volquez, Richard, Mosley. They've allowed in 22 innings only 3 runs, so it's kind of setting up rather nicely here.
Yeah, they're throwing well. They really are, and the goal is to throw their fastball for strikes and keep it down, and they're doing a good job at that.
Edinson Volquez tonight, Darren. The one thing that really sticks out in the short time he's been out there.
Well, the plan was to throw strike one, and he's throwing strike one and keeping the ball down. His mechanics are good right now, and he's having fun against his former team. I even like the swings he was taking when he was hitting.
constant theme from you. Keep the ball down. That's the theme.
That's right, Dick. And especially out here in spring training. And the theme also is to just stay healthy, get up to your pitch limit, and throw strikes.
Darren, how long did it take for you to look at video, and of course you've seen Volquez throw live, but to make adjustments in his delivery?
Not too long. He's a sharp kid, Mud, and you know, very receptive to instruction, and a good athlete at that. So it took, you know, couple side sessions, and that was it.
I think his curveball is very underrated. He's shown a good one tonight.
You are correct. It's very underrated, and he doesn't use it as often as he should. In the past, he hasn't, but it's an extra pitch for him, and it works out well.
Along with the 5 pitchers we mentioned that appear to be the starting rotation for the season, this week you got wins as well from Casey Kelly and Joe Whelan, 2 very young hitters. There's Alonso, a good young hitter, over the first base bag, and he's on his way to second. Might try for 3. Here he goes. Here comes the relay throw by Phillips, not in time. Alonso with his second hit, the ex-Cincinnati Red. So with 2 weeks to go, Darren, anything special that you're thinking about, how you're trying to form your pitching roster? I assume it's going to be 5 starters and 7 in the bullpen.
That's correct. And, you know, Dick, really all we want to do is get through the end of spring training healthy, and so far so good.
And so far so good under your tutelage. Thanks, Darren, for joining us.
Not a problem anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
Venable, a fly ball to center. Stubbs throw to the plate. Here comes Alonso. It's 5-0. Venable with his second RBI without a base hit. Bases loaded walk. Sacrifice fly. 2 RBIs.
Good old-fashioned baseball right there. Will Venable getting a pitch to elevate to the outfield early in the count. And it'll give Yonder Alonso a chance to catch his breath after hitting that triple.
Baker blooped a single to right field to knock in 2 runs in the first inning. That correlation between scoring first and winning continues this spring. The team that has scored first in the 21 games for the Padres, 17-4. Padres on the board first tonight.
I'll take that.
Well, base is empty with 1 out. Alonso, not exactly a speed burner, but the triples in this park are down the line. Get it down deep into that corner. Most of the outfielders play well off the line. In his limited time with the Reds, Alonso no triples. There's a little soft shot into left field, and Baker has his second single. I think Padre fans are going to like what Baker brings to the table. He makes good contact. He hits it to all sides from foul line to foul line.
Not a lot of movement in that swing by John Baker. He recognized an off-speed pitch up in the zone, kept his hands back nicely. I mean, that baseball was up around that Padres on his jersey. Take a look where that pitch was to John Baker. Gets up on top of it. You can see that bat kind of roll over the top of that baseball as it's pitched, rather than getting underneath it for the easy fly ball.
Everett Cabrera knocked in the 4th run of that first inning with a fielder's choice. There goes Baker, and there's a hit and run that was deliciously executed. As a wide open spot in the 5-5 hole, and Cabrera knocks it into left field. So with 1 out, runners at first and second.
Curveball. How do you inside out a curveball like that? Usually from a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter, you're going to pull that baseball, but he is way out in front of it. Hits the spot that's open. A lot of movement on the infield, and that's the key. Movement on the infield, hit the ball on the ground. Perfectly executed by Cabrera.
Now the Padres with a 6-hit attack off Arroyo plus 4 walks, and threatened to add to the 5-0 lead. Andy Brino fly to left his first time. Played his college ball up in Syracuse at Lemoyne College. It shows that, you know, you talk about the first round picks and the second round picks. There are players like Perino that wait patiently and finally are selected. The Padres took him in the 26th round 4 years ago, and he's moved quickly up the ladder in the system. 2-0 on Perino. Way inside.
The ball nearly got away from Hannigan. Looked like a cut fastball of some sort as you take a look at the breakdown. 60 pitches for Arroyo. This guy, I'm serious when I say this, he could throw 180 pitches and it would just look like the first 10 that he threw because he's not overpowering and he flips a lot of stuff up there.
But not a good outing as we come ever closer to the opener of the season. And there's a strike. Baker at second, Cabrera at first with singles, a run in on the leadoff triple by Alonso, and Venable sacrifice fly to make it 5-0. Ball 4, and that's the 5th walk. Bases loaded again. Well, Padres games are more fun when you come out to Petco in a group. Groups as small as 20 can enjoy big savings, special seating, a scoreboard welcome, and much more. Petco Park offers several exclusive group facilities that'll fit your exact group needs. So reserve your group tickets or private suite. You can do that tonight by calling 619-795-5555.
And remember, if you can't make it out to the old ball yard, all you have to do is tune into Fox Sports San Diego to catch Padre baseball.
How many games?
All of them. Let's do all of them.
162.
Why not? Even Crocodile Dundee likes baseball.
Volquez sweeps one foul. Chance to pick up an RBI against his former team. He bounced out to the mound his first time. And a ball and a strike now the count with Baker at third, Cabrera at second, and Perino at first.
Well, he's getting a good chuckle the last couple of at-bats, Volquez.
I would guess that Hannigan is giving him a little verbiage. Oh, big curveball.
Hey, wait a second now. He's got the jelly legs working, and Volquez wants no part of it.
And down he goes for the second out. Arroyo's first strikeout of the night. And that brings up the leadoff man, Cameron Maben. Baker, Cabrera, and Perino. Padre over every pillow with 2 outs here in the third.
No, he did. Leave it up there.
Justin Freeman, right-hander, begins to loosen up in the Cincinnati bullpen. Changeup.
Yeah, kid.
You know, watching a pitcher strike out 16 hitters in a ballgame, that's fun, right? I mean, everybody loves strikeouts, the power guys. But I think it's also fun to see pitchers pitch. I think we've seen a couple of pitchers tonight. Volquez and Arroyo do just that. Pulling the string anytime. Look at that curveball.
1-2. A run in here in the third. Bases loaded. And Maven down on the count, 1-2. Two-hopper to Phillips, and that'll do it for the Padres here in the third, but they add another on 3 hits, leave the bases loaded. It's 5-0.
Chemistry.
5-0 Padres after 3, and back in Los Angeles, right-hander San Diego right-hander Kerry Chow is with a pretty famous left-hander.
And thanks, Dick. We're here over at Randy Jones All-American Sports Grill. I'm Kerry Chow, as you just mentioned, and we're with the man himself, former Cy Young Award winner, Randy Jones. Randy, how are the Pods going to score some runs this year?
Well, that's going to be one of the key things. Starting pitching, I think the bullpen are solid. We got some veterans, with a lot of experience, and I'm not worried about the rotation. Everybody's healthy and everybody's looking good. They're going to be ready. But overall, it's time for Will Venable and a lot of these guys to step up. Nick Hundley, they just got to hit the baseball and be the veterans that they are now. They're not rookies anymore, and these young kids got to find a way to get that clutch 2-out hit. And if we get 40 of those, I'll tell you what, 40 more wins is what we're talking about with this bullpen I think we have, and that can make all the difference for the Padres this year.
That sounds good. That's a professional opinion right there. But if you want to voice your own opinion, go ahead and tweet us on Fox Sports San Diego, as well as on our Facebook page, Fox Sports San Diego. Reporting from Randy Jones All-American Grill, I'm Kerry Chow. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Kerry, and always good to hear from the southpaw, Randy Jones. Volquez to Cozart, 1-1. Cozart, then Votto and Ludwig in the Reds' 4th inning.
Hey, you want to hit us up? Facebook.com/Fox Sports San Diego. Twitter.com/Fox Sports SD. Hey, social media these days, yeah, it's a great way to keep in touch and know what's going on. Dick, you've got a Twitter account, I know.
Oh, absolutely.
Look at this guy. He's tweeting somebody right now.
I mean, you're nothing if you can't tweet, Are you on Facebook?
I am.
What face are you using?
You know what? I've got a Fox Sports San Diego logo on my Facebook page.
3-1, and he loses the leadoff man, Cozart. First walk of the night from Volquez. It'll be interesting now to watch Volquez because his reputation the last couple of years, he'll be going along smoothly as he has through 3 innings. Then he'll walk a man, and then he'll walk another, and gets into a negative pattern. Let's see if he can snap out of a leadoff walk against a very tough hitter, Votto, who walked more than any National Leaguer last year.
That's exactly what Darren Balsley was talking about, executing and locating the fastball and strike one. And that's exactly what Volquez did the first pitch to Joey Votto. Fastball in. Two-seamer, most likely.
Runner goes, and Baker unable to catch the ball cleanly, and in with a steal is Cozart. Reds have been running this spring. Dusty Baker has let them go freely. And in fact, that's the 30th time they've tried to steal, and they've been successful 25 times.
Remember, last year in spring training, the Padres were running amok on the base paths.
1 ball, 1 strike to Votto. Change up.
That's a beauty, isn't it?
I can't recall anyone through the league last year that had better arm action on the changeup. I mean, it just looks as if with all that energy, that ball's going to come in at high velocity.
And believe me, if he wasn't healthy, he wouldn't have that whip action like he's had tonight on that pitch, on all of his pitches for that matter.
Left field, over in a hurry is Katse. And on to third, tagging. And into second base, Votto, and he now has to make the sharp right turn as the veteran Katse makes the play.
Yeah, it's not a bad play by Mark Katse. He's probably hearing it from some of the fans out there on the run. Yeah, he may have lost a step here and there, but he gets to that ball quickly, taking away extra bases.
Knows the geometry out there.
Joey Votto couldn't see the ball being caught. It's kind of dark out there in left center field. You've got the fans, you've got the advertising on the outfield wall.
You remember Katse, when he doubled, he didn't know that the ball had bounded over the wall for the ground rule double. Here's Ludwig. He was robbed of a hit by shortstop Cabrera. Made a diving stop to his left and threw him out. Chance to drive in the first run of the night for Cincinnati. Has a couple of RBIs this spring. There's that changeup. Just missed. Vice President, General Manager, Assistant General Manager A.J. Hinch will join us in the next half inning. High pop fly into shallow left. In comes Kotze. Maben calls him off. Makes the catch. Here's the throw. Runner driving to the plate, and he'll score. Zach Cozart comes in on a shallow sacrifice fly off the bat of Brian Ludwig. It's a 5-1 game. You can be at Petco Park opening weekend. We hope we'll see you there as the Padres take on the Dodgers in a 4-game weekend series, April 5, 6, 7, and 8. Friday fans in attendance will receive a 2012 schedule cling presented by Tuchin. Tickets for the opening weekend are going fast. Don't be left out. Be sure to buy early and save at Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. So a leadoff walk, a stolen base, and a couple of fly balls, and the Reds have their first run. Jay Bruce lined to center his first time. Count goes to 1-1. Born in Beaumont, Texas, another pretty good baseball player that had a Reds uniform. Raised in that city, Frank Robinson.
Beaumont.
To the second baseman, Perino. The pirouetting Perino robs Bruce of a base hit worth a second look. Oh, stretching, and oh my. Bottom of the fourth inning, the Padres 5 runs on 6 hits, and the Reds 1 run on just 1 hit. Nice crowd enjoying a Friday night, whether in the box seats behind home plate or out on the green in the outfield terrace. As A.J. Hinch joins us, Vice President of the Padres, and a keen eye on all that's happening out on those minor league fields, and get a chance to bring you up to date on some of the young people we've been talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement around our group, and you know, on this field we're obviously looking forward to opening day, not too far away, and then it's going to be opening day for a lot of Padres coming soon through the minor league system. So if we can marry those two concepts of what we have now with what we have in the future, we've got some good things happening.
Kotze leading off here in the bottom of the fourth. There was a nice scene the other day, AJ, out on the patio where the restaurant is located by the offices here in Peoria, where all the minor leaguers gathered, and they saluted the San Antonio team for winning the Texas League, and they all got their Texas League championship rings, and the other minor leaguers applauding them. Just part of this whole chemistry of the total organization, feeling winning and including all in that process.
No, it was great, and it was great to have some guys come back who were in minor league camp that contributed to that San Antonio win. And you know, when you have guys that graduate, we had 9 players make their major league debut last year out of AA, which is very very unique for a club that won a tremendous amount of games, had a lot of talent, acquired some talent midway through with Robbie Erlin and Joe Whelan. So
Perino was one of those who just made that terrific catch.
Absolutely. So to have those guys get rewarded with the win is pretty neat.
Second strikeout for Arroyo, 1 gone, and Headley comes up.
You pretty much know, AJ, what the Major League roster is right now in spring training, but how much time do you spend on the other fields, 3, 4, and 5?
Well, days like today are great because we have night game here. Night baseball is fantastic in spring training because we get to watch the minor leaguers during the day, the major leaguers at night. So it's a full day of baseball, but we get out there every day at some point, go touch the minor leaguers a little bit, watch their drills, watch their workouts, because right now Buddy's got this group preparing for like a normal season. So they'll take their batting practice, they'll take their infield practice, but there's not a lot for us to do from the front office perspective. So this is the only time of the year where we have everybody in the organization on the player side on one field.
Are the walls of Peoria starting to creep in on you?
It's time to come to San Diego. Let me tell you, it's a long spring training. You know that off day that comes in the Major League camp? That's the day where you really tip the scale a little bit, and you start looking towards that last date where you're going to load up the car, go back home, see the family, and get ready for opening day.
Was it worse as a player or as an executive right now?
As an executive, it's a longer spring. You know, as a player, it's getting yourself physically prepared, and as a manager, there's always something to do. So I know what Buddy's going through, but as an executive, days get long, and you know, you're a little weary-eyed, but it's all worth it.
Headley skies one to left field. Ludwig gives some ground and makes the play for the second out. Brings up Yonder Alonso, who has a single and a triple and has scored 2 runs for Buddy Black. How often will you be called by Black to come into the office and give your impression of what's happening down on the farm?
Every day. You know, they you know, whether it's major league questions, minor league questions, you know, I find my way into Buddy's office just about every day, pop in, say hello. Sometimes it's very short, sometimes it's more extensive. You know, we're going to come down to the last cuts here pretty soon. So it's our conversations get more and more as the days come along.
Alonso grounds to short, and Arroyo finally has an easy inning. Can you stay for another half inning?
Absolutely.
All right, A.J. Hinch is our guest. We go to the top of the 5th inning where the Padres leading the Reds 5-1. Working on a 1-hitter through 4 innings. The only run scored on a walk, stolen base, and a couple of fly balls, and he's had that changeup dancing in there.
He has thrown all of his pitches 4 strikes, and the fastball up to 95, and a little help from his friends. Laying out is Andy Perino at second base, taking away a base hit.
A.J. Hinch Vice President, Assistant General Manager, is with us in our broadcast booth here in Peoria. And this next week, some decisions are going to have to be made about that 25-man roster.
Yeah, it's a nervous time for a lot of people. You know, as much as our team is fairly set coming into camp, we've had some good competition. When you look at Cabrera and Perino as a utility infielder, there is there's some ways that both of them could make a team, but they they're playing up the middle tonight, and Buddy's getting a great look at them to see who fits on the club. The bullpen is not completely set yet. Fifth starter rotation, nothing's been named, so there's some anxious moments these last 6, 7, 8, 9 days that I don't miss as a player.
Andy Perino is making a case for himself because the last game we televised, he played all 9 innings and had a great day at the ball yard, put together some good at-bats, very versatile.
Absolutely. You know what you want as an organization is you want somebody to win that job, and not only in these 6 weeks, but you want them to win it. What they did last year, and certainly what they bring to the table, and impress the front office, the field management, things like that. You don't want anybody to win it by default, and we've got guys performing that are going to make tough decisions on us.
Some changes in the outfield as Jesus Guzman has gone into left. Will Venable has moved from right field to center field, and you just saw Chris DeNorfia make that catch of the rolling shallow fly ball for the first out.
Who is in those meetings? Or is it who are in those
in the personnel? Well, with Josh Burns, obviously, Buddy, our coaching staff, Omar Minaya, Freddie Ullman, Josh Stein, our inner circle of front office executives. Certainly Buddy leads the meeting with Josh. So one thing that's great about this organization is we like a lot of opinions, and it's not that we all always agree, but when we come out of that room, we do support the decision that's made, regardless of whether it was your idea.
Well, that was a knuckling line drive out to Perino, who almost overran it for the second out. That'll bring up Ryan Hannigan with 2 out and no one on in the 5th inning, and Volquez continues with good support behind him defensively. Throw strikes and pitch very effectively.
As a pitcher, you'd love to see the range of an Andy Perino and the plays that he has made. Well, that makes your job so much easier. Have him hit it on the ground. Hey, and if they don't hit over his head, Perino still has a great chance of getting it, right?
That's right.
Well, and sometimes, AJ, the decision is based, if it's pretty even, on whether or not you have the options to send the kid back down to AAA. Now, how about Cabrera and Perino? Do they have options?
They both have options, can be sent to AAA and provide as depth. And that's something that we've tried to do over the last year or so, is build depth to where when we send guys out, there are going to be some hard decisions. And those guys can go to AAA and be available for us whenever injuries mount up or underperformance. There can be some guys pushing from below that make it difficult on us. So unfortunately, those are tough decisions that we're going to have to make, and conversations we're going to have in the next week. But every guy out here this spring is doing everything they can to make an impression and make the team.
Well, Reimer Liriano in A-ball last year was named the most valuable player in the Midwest League at Fort Wayne. We saw him this spring. It looks as if he should have a star on his back, that he's coming very rapidly, a talented player. But now the decision has to be, well, where do you start him this year?
Right, and there's no exact science to that. I think it's, he's dominated the low A level. Obviously, high A ball will be an easy place to start him. Randy Smith has spoke about maybe getting him to Double A at some point this year. So, we'll find a way. The players will let you know, when they're ready for the next level. Liriano's dominated, as I said, in low A ball. So he has all the makings. Now we've got to refine him a little bit. We've seen some young mistakes out of him this early in spring, but the only place to really learn is by playing in the games.
Deander Navarro played with the Dodgers last year, catcher. Pinch hitting for Arroyo, and he fouls it back. Well, you saw that list, Baseball America, the top prospects in the organization in the top 100 in all of baseball. Look into your crystal ball and tell me which one of those might make it to the big leagues first. I mean, obviously Yonder Alonso is the number 1 guy that's going to make our team as a first baseman and have immediate impact. And then we'll see as the guys go. I mean, it's a race to the big leagues for these kids, and some of them are going to be ready. So we're going to have holes at certain positions at some point. Somebody's going to get hurt, and an opportunity is going to knock. So you really want our guys to be prepared mentally, physically, and be in position to play well when they come to become Padres. And I do know from the past, it's
it's an exciting time when you've got so much buzz around your minor league system, but you do want to see the fruits of that labor show up in the big leagues and play well.
When I look at that list, AJ, no position is duplicated, so that means you're pretty well rounded. I mean, first base, outfield, catcher, pitcher, second, third base. That's a good sign.
That's a great sign for us. And there are a couple pitchers on there, Joe Whelan and Robbie Erland, for two of them that are, even Boxberger and Michaelis as well. So, again, I think this wave of talent that we talk about, it's we have one of the best coaching staffs in baseball and led by Bud Black. So when we hand them over to Buddy and the coaching staff, they're going to maximize their talent. Now we want them to be prepared when they get here.
Fastball strike, a 2-out walk to Hannigan, and pinch hitter Navarro with the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, AJ, thank you for joining us tonight. It's exciting for all of us. I mean, it's not only what we're seeing on the major league level, but an opportunity to go down to the minor league camp and the size and the talent and the speed and the arms. It's almost like Christmas for you guys.
It is, and it's again, we want to see that realized at the major league level, because that's what it's all about. And teams that have had that type of farm system have had a run of success, and that's what we're after and we're trying to build. And that's not to take away from what we're trying to do today. Buddy talks all the time about the goal is to win today's game at the major league level, and we're trying to supply him with the weapons to do that, and we feel good about where we're at and feel even better about what could support that philosophy.
Well, many thanks again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. No, thanks for all the support.
Thanks, AJ. Good luck to you.
Enjoy it.
Thanks for your time.
Looking forward to opening day with you guys.
Hubba hubba. 5-1 Padres with a 2-out walk to Hannigan, and Navarro 3-2 the count. That'll send Hannigan off with a pitch.
Strike him out.
Ground ball, glove by Alonso, covering is Volquez, and that's it for the Reds in the 5th. No runs, a man left. 5 innings for Volquez, 1 hit allowed. To Peoria, the Padres' regular baseball season is just 13 days away, fans. You can be a part of all the action with season tickets for 2012. You enjoy great benefits all season long, discounted parking, exclusive events, much more. Plans are flexible to fit your needs. Don't wait and get out and come to Petco with Padres season tickets for 2012. Call 619-795.
55-55.
You're on.
And ZZ Top's going to perform after the game tonight. Getting oiled up a little bit there before hitting the stage.
And baseball found in that beard is out of bounds. The new pitcher is Sean Marshall, acquired from the Chicago Cubs. He was a teammate of Andrew Kashner last year in Chicago. There's his numbers for last season, 6-6. Good ERA. Fireballing left-hander.
Kind of a herky-jerky motion from Sean Marshall. And last year with the Cubs, fewer hits than innings pitched.
Will Venable, a couple of RBIs. Each of his 2 at-bats, a bases-loaded walk and a sacrifice fly to center. He'll be followed by Baker and Cabrera. New third baseman for the Reds. Juan Francisco takes over for Scott Rowland. Sean Marshall, starter most of his professional career, converted to relief work.
Yeah, appeared in 78 games last year for the Cubs. No starts for the left-hander.
Down low with a fastball.
I think this is a good test for Will Venable. Lefty on lefty. Marshall listed at 6'7", and he throws across his body.
Out of play.
So Will has really got to concentrate on keeping that shoulder towards the pitcher. Not having that front side fly open, especially on a pitch down and away.
Lots of arms and legs from the left-hander on the mound. He's 6'7", 220 pounds. Full count. At the knees, strike 3. That is something that Will has improved upon greatly here in spring training. Struck out too many times by his own admission last year.
Yeah, too close to take.
Might have been low, but you got to be swinging 3-2. John Baker, 2 for 2 and a couple of RBIs. Breaking ball drops in there. If you're just joining us, the Padres scored 4 off Bronson Arroyo, the Red starter in the first inning. Double by Kotze, a walk to Headley. Alonso single to load the bases. Venable a bases loaded walk, and a 2-run single by Baker made it 3-0, and 4th run scored on Cabrera's ground out as Baker, like Venable, takes strike 3. Tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego, Blake Griffin and the Clippers look to light up the West as they host the Grizzlies. Coverage begins at 11 with Clippers Live. Then stay tuned for Chavis USA Live. That's tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego. Well, there's a combination wardrobe. Padres, yeah, it all, you can mix and match. It always looks good. That's a nice thing about the wardrobe.
He's got the old and the new working there and teaching his son a little bit of baseball as well. And what's the best way to come prepared? You bring your binoculars and you have to bring your glove.
She had the glove right in her lap there. She's ready to make the switch. Cabrera hitting right-handed for the first time, and Marshall throwing strike after strike. Jumps ahead again. 1-2 the count. Cabrera with a ground ball beat out the double play to knock in the 4th run in the first, and singled on a hit-and-run single the last time up.
Curveball.
And Marshall, impressive, strikes out the side here in the 5th. After 5 at Peoria, the Padres 5, the Reds 1.
The Fox Sports Grill with legendary bartender Ricardo Langarica, and he's busy making the Fox Sports San Diego cocktail. It looks delicious. You know what, Ricardo, how good are the Padres going to be this year?
They're going to be really good. I'm very hopeful that they're going to take it all the way, to be honest.
Optimism is best in the spring, and I tell you what, if you guys at home want to be a part of the show, go ahead and tweet us any questions, comments to Fox Sports SD. Maybe you've been curious as to what's in this beverage. Go ahead and ask us. We might be able to answer that on air. Reporting from the Fox Sports Grill, I'm Kerry Chow. Guys, back to you.
All right, Kerry, thank you. First ball hunting and a fly ball into foul territory. Hermida over to try to make the catch, but ran out of room. Hermida just inserted into the lineup with Denorfia moving from right field to center, and Venable given the rest of the night off. Well, that mixologist there tending bar with that favorite drink of yours, that limeade, I know what's in there. And the man on the mound has been a pretty good mixologist tonight.
Yes, he has. He's mixed up all of his pitches quite nicely, stirring those Cincinnati Red hitters into the ground.
You are swizzling, my man.
He's got him on ice.
Brandon Phillips leads it off, top of the order. Only one hit allowed, and that was an infield hit by catcher Ryan Hannigan. Volquez going into the 6th inning, his longest outing of the spring. But I think some answers. We had a lot of questions at the start tonight with Padres Live to open our telecast.
Shaken, not stirred. Thank you very much, Edson Volquez.
Strikeout number 5 for the right-hander, as he gets his former teammate Brandon Phillips. That brings up Zach Cozart. He has struck out and walked, scored the only run for the Reds. So he led off with a walk in the 4th, stole 2nd, moved to 3rd on Votto's fly ball to left, and scored on Ludwig's fly ball to center.
That's 94 right on the outside corner for Volquez, starting his 6th inning of work, and he's pounding the strike zone nicely. You can just tell Volquez has that hip hop in his step. He's feeling good.
That looked pretty good.
Yes, it did.
2008, he made the All-Star team. As you see, James Darnell has taken over for Chase Headley at 3rd. And I told you that Hermida in right, Denorfia moves to center. 2 balls and a strike to Cozart. Ground ball wide of 3rd and into left field. He continues his hot hitting this spring. Started tonight at 441. Well, fans, this year you can save when you buy your Padre tickets early. Prices vary depending on the game you want to attend, and when you buy earlier the better. Check Padres.com for current ticket prices and be sure to buy early and save. Joey Votto with 1 out and Cozart at first base.
Throw over to first base here. Maybe the Reds have something on. Who knows? A 5-1 lead. Dusty Baker still may be working on some things to prepare for the start of the season. Mark Berry, the third base coach, flashing the signs for the Red Legs of Cincinnati.
And Billy Hatcher there helping his runner at first base. We mentioned that Cozart trying to become the first rookie for the Reds to start the season at shortstop since 1971. Frank Duffy. The year before, a fellow named Dave Concepcion was a rookie that started the season, and then eventually, of course, was the regular for the Reds for a couple of decades.
I remember Concepcion at shortstop when they had that artificial turf. He was one of the guys that started utilizing that turf and bouncing the ball over to first base, deep in the hole.
Come on, 93 on that fastball, just a bit high. Set the defense. Some changes made by Bud Black. Darnell at 3rd. Cabrera and Perino still up the middle at short and 2nd. And Alonso at 1st. The outfield, Guzman in left. Denorfian center and Hermida in right. Baker still behind the plate. And Volquez working with a 5-1 lead here in the 6th inning.
Good pitch down in the zone.
Brad Brock, who's had an outstanding spring, getting loose in the bullpen, doesn't mean he's going to come in to pitch. Depending on how much work a reliever has had, sometimes they'll just throw an inning in the bullpen just to stay on course.
Well, Volquez on schedule tonight to throw 80 pitches. The next twirl towards home plate will be number 80. How about a nice little grounder on the infield to turn 2 and call it a night? Because I know you love the double play, Professor.
My favorite play, and you can usually count on seeing at least one a game. Late call, but strike from David Rackley behind the plate. 2-2 now to Votto.
What I like at this point of the ball game, and Volquez now throwing pitch number 81, is the last 2 fastballs have been just peppered right at the knees down in the strike zone, and that's a good sign.
Little Pedro strikes out Joey Votto. Let's look at the sequence on his 6th strikeout of the game.
Well, he started Joey Votto off of this at bat going soft. Throws the number 2 up there trying to backdoor it, and then he goes, okay, I'm going to throw what I think is best, and that's locating the fastball, what he's working on this spring. Fastball laid on it is Votto. Now he starts getting nasty. Down in the strike zone with the fastball. Down in the strike zone with the fastball. And that's going to be a great night in spring training as Buddy Black gives him the old pep talk before he takes it in.
That was sterling for Edinson Volquez. The only hit, an infield hit, the only run on a walk, a steal, and a couple fly balls. Yes, sir, he deserves a big ovation. Brad Brock comes in from the bullpen. Volquez leaves with a 5-1 lead. A great effort from Edinson Volquez. A couple of hits, infield hit, and the single through the hole in this inning by Cozart. And with 2 outs, he reached the 80 pitch mark. And Bud Black going out to bring him home with a terrific effort. Brock, chance to make the club in the bullpen. He's 25 years of age. New Jersey native, went to Monmouth University, came up for a cup of coffee last year, had 9 games out of the pen. This spring he has more wins than any. It just happened to work out. He's come into games that have been close. Padres getting runs. He's 3-1 with a 1.35 ERA.
Yeah, the short time he was with the Padres last year, 7 innings, 11 strikeouts. And once again, righty on righty here. Brock throws across his body. Kind of hides that baseball very well.
Ryan Ludwig, the hitter, and he takes it on the outside corner, 1-1. Ludwig robbed of a hit on a diving stop by Cabrera at short to throw him out, and a shallow fly ball to center was good enough to get the run in the 4th inning, a sacrifice fly. 1 hopper, 2-1 to Ludwig.
John Baker is getting a workout behind home plate tonight. A lot of fastballs skipped either in front of home plate or a short hop behind the plate, but he is getting beat up back there with some fastballs.
Now that comes with being eclectic, you know. 2-1 to Ludwig. Foul to the screen. He was on that one. Yeah, the popular player, Ludwig at St. Louis. When he was traded to the Padres, folks in St. Louis weren't very happy about that. And you could see why everyone liked Ludwig. Stand-up guy.
You got that right.
Low and away, and a full count. Brock has been a lifetime reliever as a professional. 206 total games, all out of the bullpen. Up the middle, base hit. Cozart running on 3-2 will make it easily into third as the Norfias throw to second base, and the Reds have runners at the corners with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
I think with the 5-1 lead, Ryan Ludwig was banking on Brad Brock, just trying to challenge him with a fastball. That's exactly what he did. He did a nice job of centering that baseball up the center of the diamond. Hey, as a pitcher, that's what you want to do. You're up 5-1, challenge him. Make him earn his way on.
Jay Bruce, the batter, he's hit the ball sharply both occasions, a line out to center, and then robbed of a hit on a line drive to second. Perino making that diving, stretching catch backhanded to take a base knock away. Boy, Bruce had some year last season. 32 home runs, 97 runs batted in. He has 100 career home runs in 4 major league seasons, Jay Bruce. I think he's one of the most underrated players. You don't see a lot of headlines for this young kid, but boy, he's legitimate power.
Not a bad middle of the lineup for the Reds. Votto, Ludwig, Bruce, and then you've got the veteran Roland.
I like this Reds uniform, don't you?
I like it.
Yeah, a little different look. 2-0. That'll make it out of play. Well, a reminder, we're going to be back next weekend here on Fox Sports San Diego, both on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. It'll be the Giants on Friday night, Milwaukee Saturday afternoon. Spring training baseball continuing on Fox Sports San Diego. Coverage next Friday night at 6:30 with Padres Live, presented by Cox, followed by the first pitch at 7:05. Padres Giants next Friday on Fox Sports San Diego, and then it's a noon game on Saturday against the Brewers. And then the club will break camp and head for beautiful San Diego.
Cannot wait.
2-1 and another foul.
There's going to be some serious electricity around Petco Park, and it's going to probably be a full house. So if you can't enjoy a big league ball game at the yard, you can always catch it on Fox Sports San Diego.
Two outs, 2-2 the count. Line drive, center field, base hit. Oh, he's hit 3 balls right on the nose tonight. It's a 5-2 game as Cozart comes in to score. Ludwig scampers to third on an RBI single by Bruce.
Looked like a breaking ball from Brad Brock. That's 4 B's in a row, isn't it? Breaking ball, Brad Brock. And off the end of the bat, but it's elevated just enough for Bruce to pull that ball.
That run will be charged to Volquez, so his final line is 5 2/3 innings. 2 runs, both earned on only 2 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. 3-hit inning now for the Reds. And Juan Francisco bats for the first time in Scott Rowland's spot.
That's a great night for Edinson Volquez.
Wild swing at a bad ball by Francisco. It's 2 strikes. Volquez speaks excellent English. I asked him where he learned his English. He said, well, in the Dominican, that's a second language you're taught in school. But he learned as a baseball player in the minor leagues in the Texas organization. His roommate was American, and he said, I'll teach you English if you'll teach me Spanish. And it was a
great way to learn.
Yeah. And it's maybe we'll get a chance to chat with him here. We'll see his demeanor. 2 strikes to Francisco. He went around, strike 3, and that'll be it for the Reds. They get a run on 3 hits and leave 2, and 5.5 in the books. It's 5-2. Into the home half of the 6th inning, 5-2 Padres. And now let's go down and get the reaction of our starting pitcher tonight with Layla Rahimi.
Thank you, Dick. And Edinson Volquez, just a great outing for you. 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. How did you feel out there tonight?
We're pretty good tonight, especially against Cincinnati. I pitched for them like for 4 years, and I was excited tonight.
So that did mean something to you to see these guys again.
Yeah, I still feel a lot of love for those guys because they was great teammates, and I did my best today.
You had your fastball working this evening. What were you doing there to make it just have a good command?
Yeah, I just tried to be ahead in the count, and throw a lot of strike. That's what I've been working the whole spring, and I think tonight I did it pretty good.
How has this spring training gone for you aside from this game?
Good, pretty good right now. I feel strong and everything. I think I'm ready to start the season.
And you had some good defensive help too, especially Perino's play. I see you reacting there.
I love it. I love it. Like you say, those guys make a lot of nice plays, and Karen and Perino too. I like it. I like what I see.
What are you looking forward to the most about just getting the season started?
Wins a lot again, the most I can, and I think we're going to do it because we have a great team right now.
And then also we have to talk about your necklace here. Do you think it was good luck tonight?
I was wearing that, but I'm going to say yes.
So we might see you with it later in the season.
Yeah, the whole season long, maybe.
Nice outing for Edinson Volquez tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Perino slapping one to right field, and the new right field out there, Darryl Jones, making the catch for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Some wholesale changes for the Reds. Dusty Baker will try to catch you up on it. You know, Volquez learned his English from Tim Cunningham. He said they called him the Snake. He was also a pitcher with the Rangers in the minor leagues, and that's a nice camaraderie. I'll teach you English, you teach me Spanish.
Absolutely.
A little brief with his answers, but you know what's happening there. You saw him jerk real quickly at one time. Yeah, players have become wise to the old shaving cream pie.
Oh, yeah.
You never know where you're going to get it. Jed Jerko is one of those very promising youngsters in the system, not far away from being a big leaguer. He's had a good spring, 323. He's been consistently a 300 hitter in the minors. I like the way in which Jerko is able to get the sweet end of the bat on the ball, square it up.
You know, the Padres have got some big boys on that ball club, 6'4", 6'5", 6'7". They also have some guys who are little spark plugs as well, and I think Jerko is one of those guys.
One hop to Francisco at third, and he throws him out. 2 away. So Marshall, 5 up, 5 down out of the bullpen. Top of the order. And it'll be Jesus Guzman in Maben's spot, batting for the first time. Guzman with a home run yesterday. He's also had a grand slam homer this spring. And as we have well documented, one of the very best, not just with the Padres, but in the National League last year against left-handed pitching. Just out of the zone, 2-0. Padres Live right after the game. Complete wrap up, highlights, analysis of this spring training encounter. That one catches the outside edge. 2-1. Well, Cairo now at first, Harris at second, Valdez at short, and Francisco playing third for the Reds with Heisey in left, Phipps in center, and Jones in right. Another strike.
Good breaking ball from Marshall, down and into the right hand and hitting Guzman. Good tempo from the tall left-hander. He's throwing a lot of strikes.
High hopper to the shortstop. Valdez across in time. How about Sean Marshall? Strikes out the side last inning. 1-2-3 here in the 6th.
This year we have a nice gray this year, nice gray away uni with a old school pinstripe feel, nice block letters, San Diego right across the chest, easy to see. away jerseys. San Diego Padres. All day, every day. Coming to you live.
That, of course, the fashion stylings of Cameron Makeman and model Corey Lupke showing off the new Padres uniforms as the Padres lead the Reds 5-2. As we go into the top of the 7th, that is just part of the new uniform package the Padres have this year. They are also going with updated white uniforms as well. You see the blue ones right now tonight. Now, it is a nod to the Pacific Coast League uniforms with the piping. They also have the block letters that you saw in those road grays. The swinging friar is back, and they're also wearing more blue. They have an alternate blue uniform with the white block San Diego print. So just some of the choices you have to check out this season.
Thank you, Layla. And there goes the throwback to your favorite unis.
Love those. Hey, I love the new ones this year as well. I love the traditional block numbers on the back of these uniforms.
Joe Thatcher, the left-hand pitching specialist, lefty to lefty during the course of the regular year, but he goes to the right-hander, and that ball's hit fairly deep to right field, but camped out there is Hermida for the out. One away, and as Dusty Baker continues to make wholesale changes.
Looks like Corky Miller stepping into the batter's box.
Okay, backup catcher Corky Miller.
Check this guy's bat.
Don't make him nervous now. Thatcher with that three-quarter hides the ball well. Comes from first base side.
That's a beautiful shot there. Bringing your camera to the ball yard, maybe a little videotape.
Ground ball to first. Kyle Blanks just into the game is tested. No, that's Clark now for the Padres. And Clark has had himself some terrific spring games. He's dad was a pitcher in the big leagues. We talked about that last week, and he has just hit the cover off the ball this spring. He's been recording the best batting average all spring long. So 2 gone. Chris Valleca, utility infielder, is the hitter. And it's 1-1. Base is empty here on the top of the 7th inning. The Padres with a 5-2 lead, and Joe Thatcher, the third pitcher used by Bud Black tonight. Off the fist. Ooh, check your fingernails.
That's gotta hurt. That might not even be a broken bat. I think Valleca just wants a little rest for those hands. You talk about getting in the kitchen, and some kids going home happy with a big league baseball. The San Diego Stars Baseball Academy, good program from San Diego.
Yeah, we got to get that third young lad a baseball. He says, where's mine? The other 2 pals there have one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thatcher working on Valleca. Cincinnati will be here at Peoria again tomorrow. Of course, you can follow the action on 1090 at radio.
Don't you love the eye black on the young kids pretending to be big leaguers? Big, bright-eyed, looking at the guys out there on the field, hoping to be there one day themselves.
Swung on, and down goes Valek on a ball in the dirt as Thatcher works a 1-2-3. 7th inning. Time for Take Me Out. 5-2 San Diego. Stretch half of the 7th inning. Fans have exercised their vocal cords with a Take Me Out to the ball game. And we're ready for action in the 7th with a new pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, a new battery. In fact, Carlos Fisher, a 29-year-old veteran, on the mound. And staying in the game is catcher Corky Miller. Reminder, the Padres and Dodgers Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday to open the season. April 5th, 4:05, almost sold out. 4:05 start. Fans in attendance will receive an opening day T-shirt presented by Sequan. Opening day tickets are down to just a few, so don't miss out. Padres.com or call 619-795-5555. Denorfia, he doesn't waste any time. First pitch he sees, he rifles into left field for a base hit. Chris with a slow start this spring with a bad back, but since he's gotten back in the lineup, hitting the ball solidly.
Hey, first pitch fastball, you go to hacking, and that'll make the back feel better. You just have to admire the way that Chris Denorfia plays this game.
Here's Jeremy Hermida, his first at bat. Both managers going heavily to their bench here in the late innings, as is the general course during the spring. And as we predicted, with the Padres having so much talent in their minor league system, the late inning replacements, many of those who will be in the minor league system, have outplayed the opposing teams' minor leaguers. And the Padres running off 6 wins in the last 7 games, 9 of the last 11. Only 11 more games left here in Arizona.
And more of the regulars will get more and more at bats as this spring training camp goes on, and Buddy Black will start to put the pieces of the puzzle together for opening day, April 5th.
Matt Clark is on deck. He'll hit next here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jeff Decker's had a good spring, the Peoria resident outfielder. That's in there. 1-2.
What a good pitch. Fisher listed at 6'4". He really gets on top of that baseball and creates a nice downward plane. Little cut fastball along with a slider as well.
Came up to the big club for 17 games last year. 0-3, 4.50 ERA. Concentrating on Denorfia, hoping that by waiting in that stretch position, Denorfia would commit. Did not, so he backs off. 1-2.
Sometimes, Dick, that's a planned play. They want the pitcher to just hold to see if that runner commits. You're absolutely right.
Miguel Cairo at first base holding him on. The chiropractor. Glenn Hoffman flashing out the signs there at third base. Oh, his uniform's always clean because he's rubbing it all the time. He doesn't have any lint or anything on that jersey.
You know, I think the key for Glenn Hoffman this year is that he has shoulder surgery on that right arm of his. Why? Because that means he will be waving around a lot of runners around third base to score.
Yeah, let's hope the solid offense exhibited this spring by the Padres is a pleasant omen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the full count to Hermida. Jeremy has a home run this spring on his 8 hits. See if Denorfia goes here. He does. Swung on and missed. The throw through is in time. A double play. Strikeout, throw him out. Good throw by Corky Miller.
It was a breaking ball down and in as well. Right on the bag, in front of the bag. Corky Miller could not have made a better throw. And Denorfia trying to get that outside part of the second base bag.
Good flash tag by Winston Valdez. So 2 outs. And we see Matt Clark for the first time. And he takes a breaking ball strike. All Clark has done this spring is hit .462. 12 hits in 26 at bats. Couple of doubles, couple of home runs. Free swinging first baseman.
Come on, Clark! Out of the park!
That's his father. Bases empty, 2 outs now here in the 7th inning. Padres by 3, 5-2. Clark went to Louisiana State University for a couple of years. His father Terry pitched with the Braves, Orioles, Angels, Indians, Astros, Royals, Rangers. Was he a teammate of yours?
No, but he was a
opponent.
Thank you. I drew a blank there. I remember playing against him. He was with the Edmonton Trappers, the Pacific Coast League. I was a Phoenix Giant. Yeah, he made the rounds as well.
Matt, a lanky 6'5", 215. Rips it in right field. He just continues his hot hitting. Over to cut it off is Jones, and Clark will pull up with a long single. Goodness. Trying to hit 500 in spring. What do you do with a guy that they can't get out?
And it sounded good off the bat.
That is that sweet music.
I get shivers every time I hear that.
Oh, it depends on the perspective. I'll grant you that, Mark. James Darnell's first at bat. And strikeout double play, perhaps taking the Padres out of a potential scoring inning. Couple of hits off the right-hander Fisher. 1-1. Darnell this spring over 300. 12 hits and 38 at bats. Has a home run, 6 runs batted in. He's had a good spring. So one hopper, another 55-footer from Fisher. Product of Lewis and Clark College in Lewiston, Idaho.
Hey, that's a good program. They always host the NAIA World Series up there at Lewis and Clark.
Good fans up there.
Yes, they do.
2 balls and a strike to Darnell. Here comes the action pitch. 86. Brad Davis, the catcher, on deck. Full count. That'll give Clark a running start over at first base. Andrew Kashner heating up in the bullpen. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So a couple of singles in the 7th, also a couple of strikeouts for Carlos Fisher. After 7, the Padres 5, the Reds 2.
Padres baseball on Fox Sports San Diego. I'm Kerry Chow, checking out the game at the Gaslamp Tavern with several Padres fans. Trust me, they're excited. Trust me. You know who else is excited? The people at home tweeting us, asking questions. We got one question from Bruce Hilbrun who asked, hey, at Fox Sports SD, with Will Venable hitting .361 this spring, what is the likelihood of him continuing to be platooned with Denorfia? Dick, Mark, got any answers?
Well, happy to respond to that, although Bud Black has really got the answers in his back pocket. I think Venable's going to be the starting right fielder.
I would have to say he is your guy that's going to be penciled in there opening day, and as hot as Will Venable stays, if he carries it over towards the start of the season, he will get the majority of the at-bats, and maybe Christian Denorfia will spell Will Venable. He could spell a left
starter.
Exactly. So, hey, you go with the hot hand, right? And right now it looks like Christian Denorfia will be one of those bench guys to help out this ball club possibly late in the game.
And in left field, when Carlos Quinton comes back occasionally against especially left-handed pitching, when you got a guy that hits so well against lefties, Jesus Guzman, they might spot him in left and give Quinton a day off, or put him in the outfield against the left-handed. Well, here's a chance for you folks to appreciate Andrew Kashner, and he has been outstanding. This is his 7th outing. Bunted foul. He's worked 1 inning in each of his 6 games. The last time he was on the mound, he struck out the side. 0.00000 in record and ERA.
2 walks is nice, only 6 innings, but the opponent's batting average is the thing that really jumps out at you. Only 182.
Willie Harris, the hitter, hitting in the leadoff spot.
Willie Harris has got to be thinking, Dusty, come on. Well, what are you thinking? I got to face a guy off the bench throwing about 100 miles an hour.
That one at 96, just easy gas, as they say in the dugout. He's got a good changeup as well. His changeup at 87 is faster than Arroyo's fastball was earlier.
And like Volquez, great arm action from Andrew Kashner on that changeup.
One hopper to the new second baseman, Jonathan Galvez. And there's one away. Galvez is in at second, and Jeudy Valdez at shortstop here as Cabrera and Prino the rest of the night off. Wilson Valdez, the batter, former Phil. Made some history last year when, in a long marathon extra inning game, he came in and did some pretty good work as a relief pitcher.
And quite frankly, isn't that every position player's dream?
Yes.
If you play at the big league level, to be that one guy in that one game that gets to toe the slab and throw an inning because they've either ran out of pitching or it's a blowout.
One and 0 to Valdez. That's going to be a tough play. A high hopper. That's a spring training base hit. Kangarooing into center field. A 1-out single by Wilson Valdez. Well, Kashner is going to move from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field to the pitcher-friendly Petco Park. His thoughts about that?
You could be out there in BP and 20 miles an hour is blowing out, and then you come back out and it's 20 miles an hour in, and it could switch. And I mean, the biggest thing there is you got to keep your ball down. And I mean, I feel like, but that's in any park, and I don't really try and let the parks dictate how I pitch my game. But the biggest thing for me at Petco is I'll definitely challenge more hitters and minimize on free passes, and definitely maybe more plate, later in the count, and really make them hit the ball.
If Andrew Kashner can command his fastball to the right-handed hitters on the outside part of the plate and keep it down and give those hitters right center field, I think he's going to have a lot of success.
1 out, 1 on here in the top of the 8th inning. Miguel Cairo with his first at bat of the night, hitting in the 3 spot for Joey Votto. Chris Heisey on deck. Ooh, that's the fastest yet at 97. In for a strike. Something off that and be able to throw a changeup at 2-0 for a strike.
Very impressive from Andrew Kashner. Righty on righty, the veteran Cairo. Seen a lot of pitchers in his day. He sees the big right-hander coming out for him with 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and then he pulls the string on the nice changeup for a called strike.
Infield set for 2. Chop foul, 2-2.
Now try catching up to that 97-mile-an-hour heater after that 87-mile-an-hour changeup. And generally speaking, you want that changeup to be 11, 10, maybe 13 miles an hour difference on your fastball. Seems like Kashner's changeup against his fastball is a roughly 10, 11 mile an hour difference.
Two and 2 the count. Breaking ball, nasty. 2 away, first strikeout for Kashner. Well, he came over to the Padres, of course, in the trade with the Cubs for Anthony Rizzo. Look at this.
It's a nice slider there.
Pitch.
Absolutely. Bad swing from Cairo.
And you folks wondering about Rizzo, he's hitting around 350 this spring for the Cubs. Has a couple of home runs. Of course, he had a tremendous spring a year ago with the Padres. We go back to the Latos trade. You know, most general managers will say you don't want to beat up somebody that you've made a trade with. You hope that both sides benefit from the trade. Then you make some more later on, and that's been the case. So hopefully the Reds feel they've got a perhaps top of their rotation in Matt Latos, and the Padres have 4 outstanding talents as you look at Josh Burns and A.J. Hinch down below. Heisey, remember late in the season last year, he almost single-handedly tore the Padres apart in a series with his bat and his glove. There were rumors at one time that he might be traded to San Diego.
Yeah, he was a difference maker last year in some games, no doubt about it.
Cashner jumps in front, 2 strikes.
And if I remember correctly, Heisey's got a little pop in that bat as well.
I think he had a couple of home runs in the series.
So.
Made a couple of sterling catches in the outfield. That shows you the depth of this Reds team. Oh, again, the breaking ball. And down goes Heisey. 2 strikeouts for Cashner. Impressive. A seeing-eye ground ball single, and that was it for the Reds in the 8th against the fireballing Cashner.
Welcome back to Padres Baseball on Fox Sports San Diego. I'm joined by a man who needs very little introduction as the Padres lead the Reds 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Dave Winfield, Executive Vice President of the Padres, also, of course, a Hall of Famer and a proud San Diego Padre. What have you thought of spring training so far?
Well, I've been here the last few days, and I like it. It's a great time of year, and it's good now that the team, we're narrowing it down, if you will. And I'm just making sure the guys are healthy, their mind is in the right place, they're focusing on opening day, and this is a good group of guys. You know, we were disappointed a little bit last year, and we've got a lot of guys that are going to help us get back on track, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and just talk about your role with the team, because it is a multi-purpose one and one that they appreciate.
Yeah, well, actually, I've done everything for the ball club in one way, shape, or fashion. But essentially, you know, spring training is let me find out what's in the guys' heads, hearts, their capabilities, transfer that to some of the people who can help them perhaps improve. But when the season starts, it's more on the business side. I'm really not in the clubhouse as much or doing the coaching in that respect. But I have some special programs that you'll see come forth this year, and just whatever we can do. Save money, make money, bring it the game closer to the fans, anything I can do in that respect, that's what I do.
And what are you looking forward to the most about the season starting?
Well, just when baseball starts, I love it. I mean, it's been my life. It's just, it's a good time of year. And, you know, anybody that works with a ball club and for a ball club, it's a happy time because when people come to the ballpark, they feel good. You know what I mean?
No,
it's not like you're, oh, I got to go to the ballpark. It's fun. It's a good thing to do. So I enjoy helping bring it to the public.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. We're looking forward to talking to you throughout the season.
Well, you will, and I'm glad we're going to be with Fox Sports Net. You want to find us, that's where we'll be.
At least us two, right, for now.
All right.
Thank you very much, Dave. We appreciate it. We'll send it back upstairs.
Unsolicited, unscripted. The Hall of Famer Winfield saying all the right things. That's right. A big smile when you come to the ballpark. We saw that from the opening pitch tonight. And you come out to have a good time, and as we have said so many times, Petco Park is certainly fan-friendly in so many ways.
You know, Dave made a great point, and it's kind of funny. I've never heard anybody say, I got to go to the ballpark.
They don't cry work ball, they play ball.
In fact, I'm going to make a statement here. Rather than Disneyland being the happiest place on earth, the ballpark is the happiest place on earth, as far as I'm concerned.
You won't get many dissenting votes from this booth. Now that was Brad Davis swinging left and hitting right and squirreling a ground ball single into right field. And at the plate is Jeudy Valdez. He and Galvez, who's joined him as the double play combination, have sparked some interest this spring as well. Although Galvez won't hit. This is a high pop fly out of play. That one piercing the night here in Peoria. Bounding off the roof. Skipping all the way down to the box seat section. A hand for the fan who comes up with that precious horse hide. Interesting game, isn't it? If you put cork in your bat, it's illegal, but every baseball has a cork in the center.
That's right. That's a good point.
I mean, they're fair practice. You know, they don't, no bias against cork. You find a place in the game. And that's no yarn.
Nice way to spin it there, Professor.
That's in there too, right?
That's right. Yeah.
There goes the runner.
Wow.
And he's out by a mile. Brad Davis.
Corky Miller has got a hose back there behind home plate.
Might have been a hit and run because Davis not likely to try to steal, and could be that young Valdez missed a sign.
Corky Miller did a great job of squaring up and just firing a P-Rod down to second base. A perfect strike.
Now a fly ball. Center field, easing back and making the catch is Phipps for the second out. That'll bring up Jeff Decker as a pinch hitter. Decker with some nice numbers this spring has scored more runs than any Padre. Scored 10 runs. Has 10 hits, 5 of them doubles and 2 home runs. So 7 of his 10 hits for extra bases. High school right here in Peoria, makes his home here. And he, like Jerko, is one of those fire plugs you were talking about, Mark Grant. Surprising power.
Hey, not really big in stature, but a lot of heart.
Jerko, by the way, on deck. So Decker can keep it going. We'll see both of them. Bottom of the 8th, Padres 5, the Reds 2, as San Diego trying to beat the Reds for the 3rd time this spring. They'll play again tomorrow here in Peoria. Split squad tomorrow. The other Padre unit will be to the south against the Cubs. And the count goes to 1-2. 4-run first inning for the Padres, just as in our first televised game a week ago. They scored 5 in the first. And that's strike 3 called. Now Decker unable to get the bat off his shoulders as Fisher is out of the 8th, 5-2. Inning, Edinson Volquez showed his sharp stuff on his way to 5 2/3 innings, only 2 hits allowed and 6 strikeouts for Volquez, and that sinker and that changeup working beautifully for him. In the first inning, Kotze started the action with a ground rule double, followed by Baker, who dropped a single and scored 2 runs into right field. Alonso had picked up his first hit, also a triple tonight. And the Padres went on to score 4 times, with Will Venable chipping in tonight, a sacrifice fly and a bases loaded walks. They scored 4 in the first. Their other run came in the third on a triple by Alonso and a sacrifice fly from Venable. A reminder to be at Petco Park opening weekend. Padres and the Dodgers 4-game weekend series, April 5, 6, 7, and 8, Thursday through Sunday. Fans in attendance on the game 2 on Friday receive a 2012 scheduled cling presented by Twin 2 Gin. Tickets for the opening weekend are going fast. Don't wait. Buy early, then you save at Padres.com. Call 619-795-5555. Darryl Jones, the batter, the outfielder, and Brad Boxberger is the new Padre pitcher. So Bud Black using the men that they acquired for Cincinnati for Matt Latos. Boxberger, the young right-hander, pitched for University of Southern California, as did his father for Rod Dedeaux when they won the national championship back in the 70s. So we've seen Volquez and Boxberger, the 2 pitchers acquired in the trade. He just misses there. 2-2. Alonso, the first baseman, the only ex-Red not to see action tonight. Yasmani Grandal, the catcher. Swing and a miss. Looked as if he changed on it.
He most certainly did. Seems like the changeup has been the pitch du jour as we look at the 4-1-1 on Brad Boxberger. Of course, we've mentioned it, acquired in the Matt Latos trade. He throws a 4-seam fastball, low 90s. His changeup is his secondary pitch. That's his best one. He's got a little deception as well that works to his advantage. So the changeup tonight has been one tough pitch to catch up to for the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Juan Francisco, his second at bat, struck out his first time. That was against Brad Brock.
First pitch changeup from Boxberger.
Oh. And he comes back with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's a nice pop to it, didn't it?
You liked that when you were pitching, didn't you?
Yeah.
When your catcher would really make the good receiving sound.
Sounded like it added another 10 miles an hour as Brad Davis has got the good glove back there behind home plate with the good pop.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Gotta like the way this young man works. He wastes no time.
Love it when a pitcher works quickly.
Got him with a changeup. Boy, both Volquez and Boxberger from the front end to the back end. First innings from Volquez, and now the changeup. Boy, the Reds are going to head back home tonight thinking about how can I read that changeup. Both men disguising it so well.
And what's the lesson here tonight? Learn. If you're a young pitcher starting out, there's 2 pitches you should try to master: locating your fastball and throwing a changeup. If you can do that at a young age, get used to doing it, repetition over and over, throwing good strikes, you're going to have some success. Then as you get older, working a little breaking ball.
Dennis Phipps, the batter, and the Reds are down to their final strike as Boxberger aiming to strike out the side to close out the deal here in Peoria. Padres looking for another strike in their 10th win in the last 12 games and 7 of the last 8. Broken bat, looper to third. Jerko's got it. The ball game is over. The Padres have beaten the Reds again this spring. Final score: San Diego 5, Cincinnati 2. Padres Live brought to you by Cox. Right around the corner, Mike Pomerantz tells us what's in store. Michael.
Mark, got a great post-game show for you, Padres fans. We're going to talk about a number of things, not the least of which Edinson Volquez. What a great night for the right-hander. Looked very strong. We covered a lot of ground in the pregame show. We're going to show you what Mr. Volquez was able to do well when we see on the post-game show. Also, you're going to have post-game press conference, hear from Mr. Dave Winfield, and we're going to hear about Yonder Alonso. Nice offensive day. Post-game show coming up.